What's going on, everybody? C2 Wrestling with another Friday Night SmackDown review. Second week of the 3-hour episodes, which they've announced is not going to be a thing forever. Okay, sure, but we're watching them anyways. 3-hour episodes are okay with us. More wrestling, the better. Got a few things we want to get into tonight. Good episode, some solid action, nothing too crazy. What do you want to start with?
Got to start with what they started with. It's the biggest news of the show.
Absolutely.
Roman Reigns, the second official name announced for the Royal Rumble. And I mean, there's a million avenues you can go with this. I think it's quite clear. We'll know Roman Reigns' WrestleMania opponent on February 1st, whether it's him winning the Rumble, who eliminates him. However, I think the avenue comes clear at the Rumble.
Yeah, it's going to be evident pretty soon where they're going with Roman Reigns. If he doesn't win the Rumble, there's going to be a reason he didn't win the Rumble, you know? So that is going to be speculation, I'm sure. And usually, the people that eliminate said person in the Rumble or attack them or whatever it may be tends to lead to a WrestleMania feud. We already got two people, John Cena and Roman Reigns. Are we going to get The Rock in the Rumble? Is The Rock going to be the guy that throws Roman over the top rope?
No,
No?
no. There's a few reasons.
Okay.
I'm quite confident The Rock isn't wrestling at Mania.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
First off, this is very small, but him talking about growing out his beard to Cody for a
Yeah.
role,
Yep.
that felt like kind of something. Um, but if The Rock is in the Rumble, The Rock's winning the Rumble. The Rock is
Yeah.
not going into the Royal Rumble to eliminate Roman and be out of it. Now, it's not impossible. They could do a triple threat. They could do Rock, Roman, Cody. I think Monday and Tuesday were a pretty clear sign. The Rock, he's going to be around again.
Yeah.
He's not gone forever, but he's not going to be back in the next 3 months for a WrestleMania feud.
Yeah. I mean, I do agree the way they made it seem over those two episodes, Monday Night Raw on Netflix, NXT the next night. Rock really is playing it up like he's not going to be around. Maybe that's part of the whole shtick. I really don't know. They had us questioning so much going into Mania 40. So maybe they're kind of running with that same theme of use the real world stuff going on around them, make it seem like who knows what is going on. The Rock doesn't wrestle at Mania. It's kind of a shame. I do think he should. I think he should really take on Roman Reigns. If not Roman, Cody Rhodes. If not Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns in a triple threat. Not having him on that card to me is a little bit of a miss. I'm not going to lie. I don't want him winning the Rumble, though. There's definitely other avenues you can do it. I also agree. I don't foresee The Rock in the Rumble. Be a hell of a pop, though. I'll tell you that.
It would be. And honestly, if I've probably changed my mind a million times, if I go back and watch our other videos, I probably said, oh, the Mania match is going to be this, 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 this. And then it's like, oh, wait, where does this person go? I think right now, as of January 10th, if I had to place a bet, I would say it's John Cena versus Cody Rhodes for the WWE title.
Mm-hmm.
It's Roman Reigns versus CM Punk. It's Gunther versus Seth Rollins, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And then the rest of the card shakes out as it does. Now, I'm not going to say this is happening, but it'll be in the title of the video. It wouldn't be surprising if it ended up being Roman Cody 3, the trilogy. I don't think it's going to happen. I think the trilogy, if it were to happen, is more like a Mania 42 or even SummerSlam beforehand. But it's definitely more possible than people will think it is.
Yeah, I think it's more possible than people want it to be, really.
That's a
Uh,
better way to put it.
Not me, though. I'm not saying I don't want it. I'm not saying I want it. I do think the trilogy's happening eventually. And I understand the idea of like, oh, it's another Mania main event that could have gone another direction. But has there ever been a Mania main event that you can do for a third time, not only a third time, but in a row consecutively and still have fans bought into it enough? I'm not saying the greater part of the fandom would love it. I'm not saying the greater part of the fandom would hate it. I do think it would be kind of split. But if this was any other trilogy in a row Mania main event, It could be awful. Imagine Brock and Roman, which they faced a few times, but imagine them back to back to back. Oh my God, what a drag that would have been. If there's ever an opportunity to do that and add to the history, the lineage of this rivalry, this is the time to do it. So I can't hate it, but it would seem a Cody Rhodes win is imminent if that were to happen, and it's just Cody Rhodes retaining, Roman Reigns moves on to who knows what. I think there's better avenues for both of them right now.
Completely agree. But Roman being in the Rumble, which
Mm-hmm.
is the main focus tonight, it's like it adds to not wanting Cena to win because of how star-studded this Rumble could, should, and probably will be. I mean, the first two names announced are Cena and Roman. I believe this Roman's first Rumble in 5 years.
Yeah, long time.
Like you are talking, and then when was the last time Cena was in a Rumble?
6 years, 7 years, who
Yeah,
knows? Yeah,
probably
yeah.
probably around the same time
Time, yeah,
frame, if not
yeah.
like 2019. Maybe was he in 2019?
Man, I don't remember, to be
I know
honest. I really
2018 he
don't
was in because
recall.
we were there.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's the most recent one I can remember off the top of my head, honestly.
Yeah. So, I mean, and they're two of the biggest names in wrestling. So it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
it's not on top of that. You assume you're going to get Punk. You assume you're going to get Rollins. You assume you're
Mhm.
going to get Drew. Like, this is a crazy Rumble. And although I expected Roman to be in the match, given how things have been playing out, it's still crazy to see it officially get announced in the
Yeah.
graphic with him in the Rumble.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you could skip ahead to the Rumble, not announce anyone else. Two competitors only out of the 30, and it's a must-see Rumble, absolutely. There's so many names that can pop up on top of the names that are already all but confirmed. Like you said, there's assumption that those guys are going to be in it. And you got names like Priest and Jey Uso and just other high tier names where, listen, I don't think Priest is winning the Rumble, but that's a great guy that should be in the Rumble. Absolutely, he should be. That's a great competitor. Putting him in the ring with those guys, it only does wonders for everybody. It's going to be a fantastic Royal Rumble, man. The more we watch, the closer we get, the more I'm giddy like a little kid, and I can't wait.
So there's some other things that are building up towards the Rumble, towards Saturday night's main event potentially, because
Mm,
still nothing announced for that. This was a huge episode for the tag team division. Now, not a crazy amount of DIY. Love the focus Pretty Deadly is
mm-hmm.
now getting. They're finally getting
Correct.
matches, more relevant backstage segments instead of just the play that they want to produce, whatever. But we have the Machine Guns and Garza and Umberto picking up wins tonight. They'll face next week. One can assume the winners will face DIY unless maybe DIY and Pretty Deadly interfere and it leads to the four-way that we said was possible.
Yeah.
That seems to be, to me, that screams Saturday night's main event.
That's exactly what I was going to lead off with saying is that no matter what, whether it's a straight up tag team match, a fatal four way, it can be any combination of it all. And it just screams Saturday night's main event to me. Old school type wrestling. I wouldn't mind a fatal four way at all. Typically, I'd be like, yeah, these are four great teams. Let's get them in a fatal four way. And they've already ran it a few times, but something about the guns versus just straight up DIY, I feel like just fits the bill so much for Saturday night's main event. I do, like you said, love the spotlight that Pretty Deadly is getting. And it's in such a great way, too, where Pretty Deadly is getting the spotlight. They got this win, this guaranteed tag match from DIY. Angel and Humberto still get the win tonight, too. Like we're still putting other teams over in the midst of this. Pretty Deadly is the team that is going to eventually win the belts. They're a great tag team, but they don't need to win. They don't need to. They will get there one way or another. Garza and Humberto, who are great, let's be real, they're not maybe the tag team that everyone's like got their eyes on right now, expecting to be a main player in this tag division. But giving them a win helps them. It's a great night for the tag division. Walter and Theory are involved. They're not heavily involved. Maybe we see a split coming soon. We've discussed that on many of videos at this point. But then we still got the bloodline too. Tama Tonga and Fatu teaming up tonight. I know it wasn't against a legitimate tag team in Jimmy Uso and Cody Rhodes, but what a night for tag team wrestling.
Absolutely. And we get the backstage segment of DIY and Pretty Deadly. I don't want to be picky.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just genuinely asking the question because I'm very happy with the continued development of the tag division.
Mm-hmm.
I do have to ask though, did the Street Profits fall off the face of the earth after finding out that they were duped?
Well, I think they're Raw bound is the honest answer. I definitely
I
think
do
this,
too.
yeah, I think the Street Profits are Raw bound. They were duped though, that's for sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The Street Profits, man, that's another team that like I love, always will. They've hit that stale point. The act is getting stale, and they tried to change it up with Bobby Lashley, and we've been over this if you're keeping up with C2 Wrestling, but they quite couldn't. They need a full blown change. It doesn't even need to be a split. I prefer it be a split, honestly. Give Montez the chance and give him a singles run. Give Angelo Dawkins a chance to give him a singles run. He could be a great mid card, high mid card competitor. He's fantastic in the ring. What else do you do with them? You put them on Raw. Maybe there's a couple feuds down there they can have, sure, but cool. Now we're going into Mania 42 season, Mania 43 season. Is it still just the same old Street Profits? Like, there's a lifespan on everything, realistically.
And the reason why I say I really shouldn't complain, tonight there was 6 legit
Mm-hmm.
tag teams that were in relevant moments with the champs, the bloodline, and then the 4 teams that competed
Yeah.
tonight in the tag matches. So again, C2, there's a reason why there's 2 of us because we love tag team wrestling. We're all about the tag. The two stands for tag team. Back to singles competition though. Tiffany Stratton will be defending against Bailey. Bailey picks up a win in a fatal 4-way.
Yep.
That was something that screamed Saturday night's main event or Rumble
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
me
100%. Yeah.
and makes me think we might still get like Tiffany Nia at one of
Mm-hmm.
those, or maybe Tiffany Nia, Bailey triple threat, whatever. I
Yep.
could see Tiffany retaining or something and Nia attacking after. Like there's that rematch is destined to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. We're on the same page with that. It's pretty simple to honestly, I feel like, see that coming to some extent. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe Tiffany does just win clean or cleanish next week and they just don't run back Bailey. Who knows, but it does seem imminent for them to somehow fill in the Saturday night's main event card, in that fatal 4-way, Bianca Belair. I just got to drop this real quick because I was thinking it while watching that match. We got the Rumble coming up again, for not only the men, but the women. We've discussed the Charlotte Flair return. She's returning at the Rumble, probably winning the Rumble. Jade returns at the Rumble, right? And that sets up the Bianca feud for Mania. It's got it at this point. What else? Like, Bianca's just in this weird kind of spot
Um,
right now.
I'm kind of starting to think. I saw Jade reportedly is back at the PC.
Yeah.
Um, if Jade isn't cleared, if she actually is legit injured,
Mm-hmm.
I think it'll be Naomi versus Bianca at Mania.
Yeah, I can definitely see that for sure. It seems like they're kind of already setting that up by just giving like the tag title to Naomi. If that wasn't the case, if Jade, I mean, maybe Jade still does return and they just wanted to do that to do it. But if it wasn't going to end up being Bianca and Naomi, you could have just given the tag titles to a whole other team, to be honest with you. Now, triple threat is not an option, between the 3 women, but I can envision the Jade return at the Rumble if she is cleared. Jade coming out and either A, eliminating Bianca herself, or as I've said in the past, I want Bianca to be the heel in this. Jade comes out, finds Bianca, they hug it out, whatever, they're back. Bianca eliminates Jade. That's the Bianca heel turn, sets it up. That's the Mania match for them, in my opinion. Just had to put my 2 cents out there.
I think if I had to guess right now, just with the assumption that Jade is out,
Mm-hmm.
I would guess Naomi eliminates Bianca in the
Mm-hmm.
Rumble. And
Yeah.
it's like a moment where they had just worked together and then she turns and Naomi pulls a fast one on her. And that starts the lead to them feuding for Mania.
Yeah.
But LA Knight gets his rematch for the United States title. And not going to lie, there was a moment in that match I was like, oh, wow, they're just going to give Shinsuke a short title run. And LA Knight's about to win this title back.
It was a solid match. I honestly had no point thought LA was winning the title back. I don't know why, but like LA is, again, he might be the most prime example of a better chaser than he is a title holder. We've been over this before. And LA Knight, he's almost better than that. He doesn't really need to be chasing a title. Don't get me wrong. That's the prestige in wrestling. You want your greatest competitors to win championships. But he is so damn good in every category that whatever feud he's having, I'm tuning in for. He doesn't have to be the guy going after a title every single time. They seem to be pulling him out of that for now. Seems to be maybe somewhat ending this Shinsuke Nakamura feud. Maybe he gets another match because it ended in a disqualification of sorts. But he's got a bloodline feud going on. Fatu and Tama Tonga going back and forth with LA all episode.
It makes me think that there's a good chance the Mania match is a six-man tag and LA is one of the three.
Correct.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say it's LA and the Usos. I think that's a little bit too cookie cutter.
Yeah.
But clearly LA Knight is going to have an extended feud with the Bloodline. And does it end with a one-on-one match against Solo? That's not impossible.
Hmm.
I just think you're definitely going to want to get Jacob on the card and Tama as well.
Yeah.
So I think it's more likely we get a six-man tag. Um, Solo returns next week. Maybe LA attacks Solo from behind when he returns. That's clearly going to start building up, and who knows? I'd assume Solo and declares for the Rumble as
Yeah.
well in that promo. I'm interested in it. This is the thing with SmackDown. As I punch my phone, with SmackDown being 3 hours, you need relevant feuds that aren't just for the title. I mean, they're clearly teasing Carmelo Hayes potentially feuding with Jimmy Uso as well. Like you need interesting, relevant feuds that are non-title feuds for a 3 hour show.
Yeah, you absolutely do. And the thing that keeps sticking out to me is the potential six man at Mania. Solo, Tamatanga, Jacob Fatu. Typically, I'm not like the six man tag guy, especially at like Mania, because it's just kind of like thrown in there. We saw the Authors of Pain and Karrion Kross have a six man tag against the Prophets and Bobby Lashley at Mania 40. And it's a fine match. It was fun, but it's arguably the most forgettable match on the card. You compare this new bloodline stable to those two factions at the time. There's a difference in the factions. This new bloodline is way more over, especially with the likes of Fatu being his first Mania. But there's not really any other. You got Judgment Day, don't get me wrong, but how often do you have like a true 3-man, 4-man stable line up around Mania? You might as well run it as a 6-man tag, show them off as a team. Maybe that can be the start of the downfall for the new bloodline. Is Solo taking the pin to LA or somebody else? Solo teaming with Fatu and Tamatanga, taking on LA Knight and the Guns. I don't really know who fills in that slot, but who else do you want to showcase on that event? The Guns fit the bill to me.
Yeah, it's a great call. I think the last like legit trios, is
Mm.
it New Day versus League of Nations at 32?
Yeah. Yeah. Man, what a throwback. Yeah.
Is
League of
that it? Because I
Nations.
don't think the New Day had another six-man tag after that at Mania.
No, I don't think so. And New Day is honestly a good thing to bring up because they're clearly going somewhere with the New Day here. So there's going to be a tag match on a Mania night from New Day versus somebody, you have to assume.
Yeah. And this
And
isn't including the tag titles as well.
exactly. So then you have two other tag titles, potentially three 2-on-2 tag team matches. I would argue one of the two tag titles don't get defended on the show, to be honest, in place of the New Day match. Maybe the New Day is fighting for the tag titles, obviously. But then you're going to have another tag match on the other side. You can't. It would have to be a 6-man tag of sorts. I don't really know who you pair with LA, to be honest. That's an interesting one to me. I'm not really fond of like the universe mode matchups, just throwing guys together. Seems like that's the route they're going, though.
Completely agree, but fun SmackDown all in all.
Mhm.
We are well on the road to the Royal Rumble and on the road to Saturday night's main event, which we have no idea which matches will even be on that card. That feels like the week before the match, the card kind of gets filled out. And
Yeah,
it's, whatever feuds are going on that aren't going to be on the Rumble will then clearly be happening the week before. But we will be live for both of those shows. So make
absolutely.
sure you're subscribed and you have our notifications turned on to get that noti when we go live. Our reactions to the Rumble, I am sure, will be insane, will be hilarious.
Uh-huh.
It's going to be a nuts Rumble. Watch it with us. We'll chat wrestling the entire time and probably make the worst predictions throughout the entire show. So you got to be there to watch it.
You got to be there to watch, to add a little fun to it, too. I just got to mention real quick because we haven't mentioned this on channel. Every year, we tend to find ourselves in a Rumble pool. So we're not only watching the Rumble for WWE, there's money on the line, all right? Shit
Yeah.
gets intense when C2 watches the Royal Rumble. So you got to be there to hang out with us and enjoy the fun. For now, Snowden.
CTD, and I'll never forgive Kofi Kingston for costing me one year.
He got. That's a story for a podcast. We'll get into it one day.
Yeah.
C2 Wrestling.